What a day. As usual, I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I look a right old state. Luckily for you, you can't smell me. That's right, I've been under the goat house for the best part of the morning, cleaning that out. And I'm pretty ripe. Well, I don't know whether you can hear in the background, but there's a bit of what we call goat sexy time going on. And it's the new kid on the block. Mr. Sergei, he's the buckling that we chose to keep, that was born around Christmas time. We had a lot of bucklings and a lot of good looking lads, and we wanted as one for backup or like a predecessor to take over the reins when Bullseye is in his twilight years. And thank God we did. I wouldn't say Bullseye is down, but there's a lot of ladies that are frisky at the moment, and he's twisted his ankle, hasn't he? Or when we played rugby, if someone got an injury and that should have played on but didn't, we say you got a twisted sock, mate. So yeah, he's out of the running today, and well, how could I say it, the lads ran dry. He's not been holding back. The ladies, they've been fighting over him basically. I think they're enjoying a bit of fresh new meat, and yeah, he's done Porpeang herd proud so far. Bullseye is obviously a bit under the weather, so he comes out now and again and does what Bullseye does best, but he's not 100% on it. So yeah, Sergei is getting as much as he can muster, I tell you. Right then, what I thought I'd do, because the last video we got caught short, although it was quite a lengthy video, we're going to carry on continuing the video of the transformation of Porpeang farm. Obviously a big part of that is the lake, so I'm going to take you to the swim called the Gravels on the lake. That's about where it went. Oh shit, my battery's dead. I don't know whether to put on the title Greenification rather than transformation. Someone mentioned that in the comments on the last video. It's one of my favourite words, the greenification of Porpeang farm. Well, it's certainly green, isn't it? There's no doubt in that. Right then, coming up to the Gravels. Let's focus, Leigh. The two guys that have been working here with us pretty much every day tirelessly, have a day's holiday here and there to do other stuff, they've been sorting out what we call the fish nipples, the fishing nipples, the swims around the lake. And this one, which is where the battery died, is the Gravels. This is the last one for them to do. They just put the shovel in there, and I said, Toon, do you think they can give me a hand doing my hyacinth bed? So I'm going to show you that now. Look at this. We have since the last video, we have been letting the goats out up here for about 20 minutes, 20-30 minutes just before we kick them on the island, because it is starting to get a little bit out of control. So the thinking is a lot of the stuff that we've planted, one, is quite well hidden, but two, this sort of stuff is more of their favourite food anyway. Right, yeah, I know, litter everywhere. I don't bother telling them, I just go around cleaning up after them then. Right, behind here, Smart's Choice, this swim, probably the most overgrown one. Lads have levelled it out, which is a lovely swim now. If you just pan to the right, ideal place for a sleeper rod. But if you're fishing over into the bay, which I'll talk about in a second, this would be great for snakeheads. So at the moment this is about a foot deep to about there, 1.5 foot, and then it'll drop down to about 2 meters, and then it will slope off down to about 4.5 meters, depending on what time of year it is. So yeah, it's I recommend anyone that's fishing for just general bait fishing for you know, Mekongs or Siamese or whatever in the future, it's worth having a lure rod with you at all times, just in cases. Right, okay, so a nice chuck over there. I'm going to measure it, and for those people that want to fish here, I'll put the old measuring sticks out there, and then I'll tell you how many wraps it is to clip your reel up, your line up, so you just fall, you know, like a 6 inches short of the hyacinth bed out there. I did that yesterday, and I did about 3 trips with the trolley, the big farm trolley, putting a hyacinth in. And while I was on a little break, the guys came over and they did 3 trips as well. It doesn't sound a lot, 3 trolley loads, but it's a big trolley. We've left a little bit of space in there as the upright as well. They'll take up less space, but you don't want to fill it up chockers to start with. You want new growth. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic swim, this. Only potential hazard is the fence out here. So when we're letting the goats go all the way round, middle of the dry season, this shelf becomes exposed and they could just walk round. So that juts out. So that's, I think in the lake we got 3 of these. They're the only snags, potential snags that we have in the lake. Plenty of side strain when they go that way then. But lovely. Yeah, since the video, it hasn't cleared at all. We fished for about an hour yesterday, and I caught 2 fish. Rubbish. Almost have to buy a bite, I tell you. But don't be put off, guys. Just don't come for a day's fishing just yet. Let the water clear a bit. They're still in here. Those orange fruits, which I'm going to just come up to over here. I've been throwing them in every day, basically because there's a lot more of them now because the goats aren't getting first pickings. And when the guys were here yesterday doing the fishing nipples, they saw some big pacu taking them up off the surface. So I think they're getting back into that routine again, and I'll throw a few in. You never know your luck, do you? Loads of them. They make plenty of noise, which is good. Any pacu in the area that's eaten one of these before, they'll be over. Right, I'm just going to collect a few more and then I'll turn the camera back on. Must remember to close the gate behind me, which I didn't do the other day, and we had a bit of a goat exodus around the lake. So I was in the old doghouse. Never mind. Right, let's throw some more of these in, and then we'll continue walking around, and if we're lucky enough that the pacu hone in on them, and I'll try and get some footage. But this is the only problem with it being like a cup of tea. The water is when they do come up, you don't get a good look at them, whereas before, when it was lovely and clear, you'd see them quite clearly. And their coloration would be a lot stronger, whereas everything at the moment, all the species, quite washed out. Even the Java barbs, which are normally like a bar of silver, they just sort of like a dull white. But we'll get back to it. This will be the first area that clears up. It comes through blue clay. There's a lot of water come from the higher end of the farm there, and it comes through here and it pushes through. So this tends to clear up before anywhere on the lake. And yeah, it's a pretty sight. It's a lovely colour. Right, and so down here, all it is overgrown. We've got the pipe coming through next door. I can still hear it trickling. So always now we've just got a constant or continuous stream of water from next door and the back of the land. Now we don't know what we're going to do with all this. We're just letting it go wild at the moment, just to shore up the sides there. This would be perfect to do some clumping bamboo along all the way along there, but really we've got enough bamboo as it is. And I know we do sometimes grow more than we need several things, but I don't know. I don't know if there's anything other than bamboo. What do you reckon, guys? It's one of those little areas that, you know, if we just leave it, it's going to become like a thick jungle. If you put bamboo, it will take care of itself once it's big enough. I don't know, maybe at the very least we'll be putting Lucina in there, and then when we cut it we could drive up the road on Ben Hare and just throw it over and load up the bike that way. I'd like to grow something else. Don't want anything valuable right next to a road, because it'll be worth no value once someone picks it. Spinning round, check out the mulberries. I put two sticks in. I'm going to say cuttings, but well, yeah, they are cuttings, but they weren't rooted. This was just so soft to pin them straight in. Yeah, I thought, oh, slim chance, and most of them have taken. So we got like a double mulberry bush every time well, almost every time we've stuck them in. Since the video, Eddie's plants are rocketing. At the moment, one of the guys who's working with us, his wife, I don't know whether you can see it, even I'm struggling with the viewfinder. There's a little multicoloured umbrella in the jungle, and they asked if she could come in and cut the grass that they use for making grass roofs, so stuff like this. And we were like, yeah, no problem at all. So they need to repair their garage roof, and aren't in a position to get a zinc roof or tile roof sheet, so they asked if they could come and cut the grass and make their own. I told them as much as they want. A lush thick bed of grass, that's looking fantastic. You see how when you don't let the goats in for quite a while, that is absolutely pucker. And you notice now this has got hardly any weeds in. Well, it will do, but you'll see the dark bits, they're the weeds and they're struggling. So you know, when you start putting livestock in there, because they keep eating the grass then goes quicker and thicker and chokes out the weeds. I love all this grass. This grass never grows very big, but it's nice and thick. It does go to seed, but it also spreads via the roots as well. So it's a brilliant grass for growing on these steep slopes. This is one of the steepest slopes on the outside of the lake. Not sure what grass that is. We did put loads of seed round here. Whoa! I don't know what that was out there, but it was a, what should we say? It was a unit. There's a bit of beef about it. Flipping typical, isn't it? Just saw a load of fish coming up, and our battery, the camera had a bit of a brain fart. But yeah, we seem to have located the fish. I haven't seen them coming up for the orange gobstoppers that I threw in. But yeah, I don't know whether they're Mekongs or what, but they're certainly big for the lake. So it's either them or the Pacu or the Sawai. There's definitely a few about. Right, yeah, all along here we've got the bananas, Silinton, Moringa, Birds of Paradise. Again, I can't remember what they are. MSG, we've got the mulberries. We've got all sorts. Not so much morning glory this end of the lake, so every time I normally walk down here I bring a big bunch of it, and I just throw it near the edge or something. If I've got time and can be bothered, then I'll cut them into small bits and just pin them in the soft soil right near the edge of the lake. So hopefully eventually the whole lake will be populated with morning glory. So yeah, when we do let the goats out when it's dry, they can pick it all off the top bits here, but not let them nail it too much that they'll end up getting it out the lake. We don't want that going on. So this is pretty barren along here. This from that gate there, I would say, to Poacher's Nook here, this is the most barren of all the like. I basically ran out of Eddie's plants. He's so tight, he didn't give me enough. I could have done with another 3 or 4. So I'm padding it out with mulberries. Ridiculous, isn't it? Hey, not done anything to them, pinned them in, left them. This is the sort of gardening I like. Abandonment gardening. Yeah, Whew. It's a bit Betty Swallocks, guys, I tell you. I'm allowed to leave this gate open as long as I don't leave that gate open or that gate open. Look at the sky, pretty as a picture. You'll see the island in places has started to green up on the lower shelf. That's partially submerged at the moment. I can see where she's been cutting. 3 days she's been doing it now, this lady. She's had all that down. So they normally spend a day cutting it and baling it, and then the next day or the end of the day, then they'll take it out. So I presume the lure will bring his top vehicle round here and pop down into the area where we got macroman to build a bridge, which isn't holding up that well. Hang on a minute. Give me strength. I don't mind actually, because I'm using these to as buoyancy aids on the hyacinth beds. But it would be nice if they bring them back to the house. The winds are so high, stuff just gets blown into the lake, which is a pet hate of mine. Ooh, another nipple. So these 2 nipples are the next 2 after Poacher's Nook. So there's not really any designated fishing swims around there, but the ledge is the highest part around the lake, so people could just set up anywhere along the ledge if it's exposed enough. Oh, she's laid all the grass out here to dry out. We'll have a look at that then. So every lake, certainly in the UK, has always got a swim called the Point, and that is that one. We have got another swim which is a point over there, but I think I've covered that before. That's the Flemish Cap. This one is the Dyer, because I have to Dyer Straits, because along there it's a double shelf like most of the island, so it comes down about 2 meters, comes out and then goes down another 2.5 meters, well, about 2 meters, and then the last section between 1/2 meter and 1 meter is a straight drop. I just fancied one area almost like a canal how they dig them out. So that's them done. Here's the old grass. Tough as old boots. The goats do it if they've got no choice, or if we put this in a basket in the house at night, they would have it. Good for the stomachs, that one. Look at that. Don't worry, don't think, Leigh, you really need to get on top of that. That's exactly how we want it. If it was like that up here, I'd be a happy bunny. Right, let's have a butcher's over here. So the guys have done some work on the point. It's quite high up this. I got them to drop it quite a bit, but it's still a bit too high. It'll drop eventually. Still quite soft as well. Yeah, so again, same over there. So there's Smart's Choice over here with behind this island here you've got the hyacinth bed on the island, and I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a few bottles in a line over there, and that's a hyacinth bed, and it's not as deep as the other one, but it's wider. It's a nice expanse of water, this bit. And if no one else is fishing and you fish from here, you've got the whole of the Dyer to fish at as well. Turning around, you've got a little island to have a go at. Snakehead like to hang around there. All the last lot of, well, nearly the last lot of napier that I put in is all taken. A little bit of black sugar cane as well. More bananas. Birds of paradise are in there as well. They seem to be taking a little bit longer to get going, but they look all right. I don't think we've lost any, so that's good. Next swim along, still yet to be named, so that's 2 that's still looking for a name, so any suggestions are welcome. There's no silo plan for this one, so it's going to be a portable umbrella, with a stand for it. But what we're trying to do, guys, is trying to keep some swims that are totally natural looking. So what I mean by that, either side and further down on the ledge as well, we're planting stuff that are going to create quite a bit of height, and hopefully we can cut them in such a way to create a bit of a canopy. Much prefer fishing under a tree than a sala, so that's something that we're conscious of, just trying to mix it up. You know, some got really nice salas, and Franz Peg's got one, but it's dropped down a bit more like a European style swim, and then these little nipples that are sticking out. Some will have like a shade cloth, and some will have trees. Some might have a mixture of two, I don't know. We're just we're making it up as we go along and loving it. Down here as well, a lot of work to do in here. Not really going to push ahead with anything until the dry season, because it's all going to get redesigned. I think I've covered before, and really open this up, sort of like a canal, an intricate canal system with raised growing areas. Onto our last swim, which until 10 minutes ago didn't have a name. I've just thought of one in homage to the guy who had a last farm stay, and Toon nicknamed him JJ. Nothing like his real name, but it stuck. As soon as you said it, that is what he was known as for his duration of his stay. So JJ, this is your swim, mate. Not bad. Opposite the glory hole. JJ and the glory hole. Lovely. Bananas are growing well in here. Black sugar cane growing well. Water dropping in the canal. And our swivel pipe that we haven't had to swivel yet. That'll be in our time of need. It will give us the option to do that. We did have a heavy downpour yesterday, but it's catching up again. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. A bit of an idea from Eddie on a take of how to improve just a basic swivel pipe, and then I ignored it and did something totally different. But no, he thought about drilling holes all the way around it, and I'm too lazy to bring the generator out here because I haven't got a battery driven drill. So no, I just hacked holes in the side and put some netting in. And whether you can see down there the difference in colour there, so it's just seeping out the lake at a nice controlled rate. Check this out. You're probably not interested, but I am. These are all seedlings that are pulled out from where I put some goat manure, and the goats obviously all the leukina and the seed pods, and their stomachs don't always process the seed pods. So I had loads of these little seedlings growing where I didn't want them, and I just let them grow a little bit bigger. Thought when the rainy season comes I'll pop them in and see if they take. Thought they'd all died. They haven't. So my idea is to get them well up out the ground into sort of like tree size. They don't take long, they're such a soft wood, very fast growing, and when they become sort of like that fat in the trunk, let Toon cut them off about head height, and yeah, they'll grow back a lot quicker. If you cut them when they're very small, they just end up like a small bush. So yeah, get them to tree height and or tree size, and will benefit in the long run. I've even put a few sweet potatoes in here, and the idea is that they'll climb down there, get into the softer stuff, and start growing down there. Put some tapioca down there, some galangal, anything that, hang on a minute, anything I can get my hands on that we've got just laying around the place. Got the boys rather, to do a bit of extra work rejigging around here, just to make sure that the water doesn't go through there. It was washing around the cement blocks that the guys had put in there to raise the sala off, and got them to put an extra bamboo pole across the front so it'll just hold the soil back a little bit. It's just until it gets all tight. And check out my main thing that's supposed to be helping. This is all the morning glory. There's two types here. Keep pinning it in when I get time. Still a little bit of erosion, but like I said, it's just the nature of the beast, the way our land is. And look at the canna. Isn't it a beauty? We'll put a few of these in. Just can't get any free ones from anywhere. We've tried, or Toon's tried. She can't sweet mouth everyone. I'm surprised, because she normally works silver tongue magic, and we get given free stuff, but no, not this time. Not canners. I think they're worth too much round here. We're just about there. We want to take a few of the trees out here. We've got a lot of pruning work to do. JJ did a lot of pruning work on a mango tree outside the front of our house that hadn't been pruned, well, for as long as we can remember. So he spent about 3 days doing that. It's not that he worked slow, it's just that we were giving the cuttings to the goats, and we didn't want to give them all in one go. We've had some bit of storm damage. We've lost one whole tree here, and a big branch from another tree, but Leigh will sort that out as and when. We need some more timber for some more structures. Yeah, so it's still looking a bit barren, I admit that, but we're getting there. Getting there. Nice long line of Napier grass as well. And since the last video, don't forget to shut the gate. I don't like getting shouted at. We've put some other plants in here. JJ got in here with me, and we transplanted a few bits and bobs that Toon had bought from the market. There's all the snakehead babies down there. I don't know whether you can see them or not, but JJ snared 2 nice snakehead out of this particular bit on standing hooks and frogs one night. Well, we got one night and then one the next morning, and we ate those the following night. A lovely feed that was. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't have as much time as we would have liked wetting the line, but never mind. Next time, JJ, eh? Right, also since last time, the hyacinth explosion pond has got less hyacinth in. Well, Toon went and bought, Toon let me buy a rake from the hardware shop. Helped me drag this out, and the guys have been doing a bit, so that's 6 trolley loads around the lake on the hyacinth beds. So probably the same again today. The guys said they'll fill up the bed for me. So once we've taken enough out for the new hyacinth beds, the rest of it will go round the coconut trees and the tamarind trees, which you can see next along here. And we're also going to replenish, well, not replenish, take out all the old compost from the hot water compost pile, redo that so Mum gets a hot shower when she's here. I think it's in less than 2 weeks' time. And mulch around a few other bits and bobs like moringas and that sort of stuff. So it will all get used, and then it's time to do the scary thing, which is drain it down. Scary for 2 reasons. There's the biggest walking catfish I've ever seen in my life in here, so I'm not looking forward to that bit. But it's where we disposed of a lot of the goat carcasses when they died from the much talked about poisoning issue from next door. So yeah, they were the main reason that the walking catfish are so huge in there. They were fed, you know, quartered carcasses of goats for quite a few months. So yeah, it's not going to be nice seeing the carcasses down there. It's going to look a bit weird, but not half as weird as huge walking catfish, perhaps with 2 heads. I don't know. Be like Chernobyl catfish, wouldn't they? Things left to do. We've got a lawnmower, which has made a big difference. You can't see the difference here, but I've been working my way round the back of the house, the front of the house, and in front where the goats are. We just mow it, or I just mow it when it's dry, and fill up their feeding troughs, so they're getting grass that way. But some of the areas are too overgrown, so it will be a job for Honda, this will, just to break the back of it. I mean, I've managed to get through here, and JJ Oh, he does like to cut some grass, so he had the mower in here as well. But you can see it's quite wiry, and it needs the strimmer. Bananas are going really well down here. The Napier that we put in the dry season is going well. There's small banana trees all the way down here that are doing all right. They're not getting choked or anything. So it's sort of like camouflage gardening, guys. That's what I call it. If you get plenty of grass and weeds growing around them but don't choke them, the bugs can't find them. So they're looking super healthy. Actually, now I'm here, I can see another 2 or maybe 3 banana pups down there. So I'm going to whip them out. You're only supposed to keep 1, 2 maximum of new banana trees. And I'll transplant them. And the transformation will continue. I don't like buying banana trees, although we did buy about 7, I think, 7 or so, yeah. I just, once you get them growing, as long as you keep feeding them and they don't get too dry, then they keep giving you new plants for free. So that's the idea, and we'll just keep on populating around the farm. I'll show you this plant here. Horrible tree, lovely fruit. Not so much that. This is Pusa, which is very, very spiky, and you get a little round fruit, which I think it tastes like a little bit like a fusty apple, but in a good way. It's quite sweet, and yeah. So we've only put one of those in. I might put another one in round the lake, but yeah, you just have to be careful when you're picking them. But that will grow into a big old tree. Next to the Pusa, the Leigh seed that I planted about every, I don't know, 24 inches or so apart. Just about all of them have come up, and along all around here, I only had enough to do this pond. Again, the idea is to get these nice and high up, give plenty of shade for other things to grow underneath. The nitrogen fixers, we've got some tamarins down there as well. They're all doing all right. It's just the difference that now the goats aren't in here. In here, big thank you to JJ. He continued the start of my trip into here, not necessarily to clean it, but sometimes we like to give the goats stuff that's grown in here that isn't really growing anywhere else in the farm. So just been going in here with the scythe. This is an unused, at the moment, raised vegetable plot. The guys did the block work for it, and I've just been kept continually dumping stuff in here, eggshells, old compost, goat poop. You can see it is ready. It's ready to rock and roll, guys. And every now and again I just come in here and say just cut stuff down for the goats. If they've got more than enough food, then I just put the strimmer in here. All the moringas, my canopy idea is coming to fruition. Now I can see, now Jay just cleared in here. I need to get in here with the scythe and get these off. But yeah, the idea is these sorts of branches here, cut these off, get it up nice and high, and let them come over. So I don't mind cutting the whole thing down. Once they get to about this sort of size or a little bit bigger, just take the whole lot out. I think that's called coppicing.